YouTube, how's it going? The Goat House is back right in the middle of day one of free agency, and we're on camera in a video. Rare occasion, but we're bringing this to you pretty much in the middle of free agency. So we wanted to talk about the most recent, all the signings throughout the day, and what we're hearing rumors wise about. There's some top guys still left, so we're talking about the most recent rumors. Our thoughts are we could grade them, whatever we want.
Whatever.
Before we get started, that's our Twitter, Instagram. We're constantly posting on the Instagram, constantly talking about some of these free agency signings and predictions on our Twitter. So you're going to want to follow us there. We also have a fan voted mock draft going on the Twitter. But back to it, the free agency period's underway, and it's pretty crazy right off the bat. But we're recording this around 6 o'clock Eastern on the first day of free agency, and the latest news was Nick Foles, 4-year, $88 million.
Wow.
50 guaranteed.
Wow.
50 guaranteed. Yeah, so, I mean, I'm not going to say it's a bad deal at all, but I was surprised by 4 years and, the amount guaranteed, I guess. And apparently it could potentially reach over $100 million.
That's what I was saying, too.
Out. Yeah.
I think it was 102 was the final number. But this is wild.
Yeah.
Shows a lot of confidence in him. So the
Jags do put a lot of confidence in quarterbacks.
They paid Bortles.
I mean, they drafted them that early, but I was surprised by 4 year. I figured it would be like a 2 year.
Right. Yeah.
So
this is wild money. Obviously the fit is there. I like the fit. The money is the only spot kind of I'd question. That's a lot.
Yeah.
That is a lot of money. But you never know. You never know. If this is playoff Nick Foles, the money's worth it.
Yeah.
If it's not,
I mean, they got to make sure. I mean, DeFilippo's there, so I mean, I know he's not going to be calling the plays, which is a good thing, but he's going to be really involved with the offense and working with the quarterbacks. But the thing about Nick Foles, I mean, he's good. He's a Super Bowl MVP, but the thing about him and the Eagles, where that offense was made so it was hard to stop because it was unique, and two, it was made to simplify the quarterback position, like a lot of teams are doing these days. So. Are the Jaguars going to try to complicate things? And I think that'll be the reason he doesn't do as good, maybe.
Right.
I mean, the receiver talent needs to probably get better there, too. But maybe the offensive line, too. But if they're healthy, I think they're okay. But if they just got to simplify the offense, the playbook, keep it to where the Eagles, somewhat similar. DeFilippo's there for a reason. He's a smart guy. I just don't think he should call plays, which I don't think he will. But he's smart with the quarterbacks, with the playbook. Leave the decision-making to Marrone. I think they'll be okay. I think this is what they needed to do to get back to where they were 2 years ago, and I think it's realistic and get back there. So, despite the money, it's too many years, maybe a little bit too much money, a little bit too much guaranteed. But at the end of the day, can they get back to contending? I think they can. So, I think it's a good thing.
Right. No, yeah, I think this is a step up from your Bortles situation. So I do like the move at the end of the day. Like I said, if this is playoff Foles, it's worth it. The Jags will be fine. They will be more than fine.
And speaking of the Eagles, we were talking about the Eagles there with Nick Foles, but Deshaun Jackson is actually traded to. That was actually the most recent thing to happen here today, and he was just traded to the Eagles from the Buccaneers. And there you go.
We got breaking news.
Titans are signing Adam Humphries. I better keep my phone close by. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And there's Pigskin. Too bad Pigskin, the Titans guy, isn't here because he's. And did Danny predict that one?
He did predict that one.
Danny.
That is a Danny Provolone confirmed pick. Yeah. We're on fire with these free agents.
Pigskin's on fire.
He's part of us. We are on fire.
Yeah, I know. But he's part of us, so yeah, it counts. But yeah, Pigskin. Well, we'll talk about the guys.
I want to know what the money is.
Yeah, I'm curious to know what the money is.
I'll keep an eye on it.
Adam Humphries, the Titans. He wanted a lot. So I'm a little scared. I thought he was a guy that was going to get overpaid. So we're going to keep an eye on what the money is. Humphries is definitely solid. He's been solid. He played. His quarterback was Jameis Winston. Now he's going to go play with the second overall pick from the same draft in Mariota. So we'll see. Maybe he can tell us who's better.
In the last 30 minutes, the Bucs have lost 2 receivers.
Well, yeah, I was just mid-sentence. That was weird.
Talking about Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah, the Bucs traded him to the Eagles for, was the 6th and the 7th. Earlier today, we thought he was getting released. So I tweeted out, I thought he was getting released, and I thought he would sign with the Eagles. I was right about the team. I thought he got released, though. So he got traded 6th and the 7th. So the Bucs were going to cut him anyway. So, I mean, at least they got something. They got 2 picks.
Right.
So, I mean, it works out. So I guess I like it for both teams.
Mm-hmm. I'll keep an eye on the money.
Yeah, Antonio Brown, well, it's got to be under the same contract, which is a good amount. It's, I mean, for him. But what was I going to say? The Eagles were trying to trade for Antonio Brown. They couldn't get him. They must think Golden Tate's not coming back, so they get Deshaun Jackson. I guess that's – I mean, obviously you'd rather have Antonio Brown. Golden Tate's that's up for a debate, but, I mean, at least you got somebody. So
it's a reliable slot guy.
6th and the 7th, not much, but I mean at the same time the Bucs got something out of nothing basically. The Bills signed Frank Gore, that was somewhat recent, 1 year, $2.5 million. I mean not a big signing, but yeah, not a big signing, but I thought the Bills would go a little. I had a feeling that maybe they would move on from LaShawn McCoy and get a big time. I thought it was a possibility. I don't know.
They are. This could be like
maybe
that
they can move on
guy.
McCoy, Frank Gore, and maybe draft one, or maybe they. I think it's gonna. It sounds like it's gonna be McCoy and Gore, but 1 year, $2.5 million. You can't really complain about that one. I'm skipping over some recent ones actually. Was Tyler Kroft?
Tyler Kroft to the Bills as well. Yeah, there's 2 recent Bills ones. The money is not out on that yet, but I believe it's a 3-year deal.
3 year, I thought.
3 year.
Yeah, it just came out. $18.75 million. So that's kind of pricey.
Yeah, it's a little pricey
for a tight end, but 6 a year. Yeah, I don't really know what to make of that one. I mean, the Bills needed a tight end. I think the draft's pretty good, but I mean, you can't risk it going to the draft. I guess you can't really predict what you're going to get. So I don't know. Not in love with that one, but that's what it is. And then the recent news was that Terrell Suggs is told the Ravens that he's not coming back, and the Cardinals are
the front runners.
The front runners for that, which I predicted in one of the recent videos. But so let's see if that happens. Kenny, speaking of the Titans, we talked about them. They just got Adam Humphries. What will the money be? I'm still waiting for that.
Yep. But
Kenny Vaccaro, 4 year, $26 million, 11.5 guaranteed. We did talk about that on Twitter that I predicted Vaccaro would be back. I did that in a video as well. So not really a surprise to us here. I think everybody expected him to go back. But 4 year, $26 million is a good deal in my opinion. I don't know. That's pretty because we thought the safety market was set pretty high with the Redskins. We'll get to Landon Collins. We're kind of going backwards order here, but the most recent stuff first. But yeah, he gets a lot less than what we thought the safety market was set at. And I thought Vaccaro's his whole career has been, he hasn't been like spectacular, but he's been pretty good.
Right.
And he was very solid for the Titans. They just signed him when Cyprien got hurt last year, and they did cut Cyprien officially after this. But he ended up being good, just getting thrown in there pretty much. So I think it's a great deal. That's good money there. They have space to do things like this. Humphreys, I don't think they'll be done there. I think the Titans will, Preston Smith's still on the market and Zadarius Smith's still on the market. I expect Titans to be in on one of those. I was predicting Preston Smith throughout the week and last week. I like the fit. We'll see if they make it happen. So that's something to look out for. Titans making moves right now.
Mm-hmm. I think that was like a move they had to do. If I'm the Titans, you needed to bring him back. Yeah. I think that was he was very good for someone who was just kind of brought in on a whim.
Yeah.
Very good. So I know I like that. Kind of just bringing them back. He knows the system, knows what they're doing there. But let's move on here to
Bobby Hart. Maybe the worst deal I've seen, and I think everyone's in agreement with that. They gave Bobby Hart, offensive tackle, 3 year, $21 million.
The Bengals.
I don't know if I said that, but yeah, I don't know if I agree with that. It's weird because there was a few offensive linemen that I liked before, but I guess since there's a shortage on really good offensive linemen in the league, I guess those top guys in free agency were going to get an insane amount of money, so the Bengals had wanted nothing to do with it. So, I really don't know. I don't know what to make of it. I'm not going to sit here and say it's a terrible, terrible deal because we don't know what the offensive line market is besides Trent Brown, which we'll get to in a little bit. But it still doesn't really give us a good idea what the offensive line market will be. There's still a lot of guys out there. But, I was kind of surprised by it because I didn't think we'd see Bobby Hart's name off the board so quick. And the Bengals have money to spend, but at the same time, it doesn't mean overspend on,
right. Money runs out real fast if you're overspending.
Yeah. Trey Flowers went to the Lions 5-year, $82.5 million.
Wow.
It's a lot of money, but he was a top pass rusher this year.
Patricia likes him.
We know Patricia likes him, obviously, coming from the Patriots and, dishing out that money. He's got to like him. They needed that. They need to move on from Ziggy. They're going to keep Flowers in there. They have Deshaun Hand. They have Okwara, who can stand up on the edge, too. He was one of my top free agents to pick up, and once some of those other guys got franchised, I think he was the top free agent. But at the same time, it is a little risky because he's had some very solid years, but really last year was his one very solid year. So are you going to continue to get this? He's still very young, so I overall like it. 5-year, $82.5 million it's a lot of money, but Lions had it to spend. They needed a pass rusher, guy that Patricia's familiar with. So overall, I like this. And then we did a video on him. I was thinking the Patriots, but as soon as the Patriots traded for Michael Bennett, he knew Flowers on the way out. But I was I liked the Lions. I was still leaning towards Miami, but Pigskin got this one right in the video. So he was feeling the Lions the whole way. So
I also had him going back to the Patriots, but it was all kind of like if he's not coming back, he's going somewhere with that Patriots connection, whether that be Miami with Flores, whether that be Detroit with Patricia. And I don't know, I like the fit. Patricia knows what he's getting out of this guy, and I think this is going to be what am I looking for here? It's going to be a nice little fit there.
Yeah, it's a good fit. So we got 4-year, $36 million for.
That's not too bad
for Adam Humphries.
That is not too bad.
Yeah, that's definitely less than what he wanted, but still, you're still giving $36 million. I think it's less than what he wanted, but I think he was expecting a 1 to 2 year deal. So if you're getting $36 million, in 4 years,
wow,
so a little cheaper than I thought, but at the same time, it is a little risky because he's not. I don't know if he's completely proven yet,
Right.
But I mean, he was able to do things with Mike Evans, Godwin, and then the 2 tight ends the Bucs have, and you still
and
Deshaun Jackson. You're still able to make an impact. So
right.
And the Titans may have the worst receiver unit in football, so he's better make an impact there.
Right.
So
he's going to get an opportunity, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think it's a solid deal. I expect him to get a little more. So I'm not in love with Humphries' game because we haven't really seen it that much yet. But it's a little less than I expected. So I'd say it's a solid deal. And they desperately, like we said, needed a wide receiver. The Bengals re-signed Hujimazada. No, not Hujimazada. Uzama. I don't know. Yeah,
that sounds right. 3-year,
$18 million. They had 3 tight ends, and they're all in free agency. Croft went to the Bills. We already talked about. So they're able to get one back. Eifert,
Who?
What?
Exactly. Eifert has not played a full season in God knows how long.
Yeah, I think he's a top tight end if he's healthy, but that's
a big if.
Yeah, that's a big if. 3-year, $18 million. I don't know what to make. I don't know what to make of these tight ends.
I mean, he's going to get an opportunity. They clearly saw something. They chose him over Croft. They saw something.
Yeah, I think he was solid last year. I definitely, if you're talking free agency tight ends, you definitely rather keep your own guy than go get one of the guys in the. I mean, Jared Cook's pretty solid, but the class isn't too strong. The draft class is pretty strong, but you don't know what you're going to get. So I'm okay with the deal. The Bengals, they have the cap, 2 signings that really aren't the most appealing, I guess. Not saying they're bad, but they're not the most appealing if you're a Bengals fan. I thought they were going to get a guy like Quan Alexander, we were talking about a little bit, but now we're on to Landon Collins. He got $84 million.
Yikes.
6 years. That's a lot of years. You don't really see 6-year deals a lot for especially a safety. $45 million guaranteed. It's tough here. This is a tough one because I think it's too much money. I've never been a huge fan of Landon Collins, but he still can play. And I think he, another one that Pigskin called because, I do agree with him that he fit. I thought the Colts would maybe spend this amount of money for him, not really the Redskins. Or the Redskins would get close because he fit. But yeah, I was talking about on Twitter, credit to the Colts. Just because you have the cap doesn't mean you have to go overspend. So, I mean, credit to them for that. Keep building through the draft or test the market a little bit, get an idea. But, I think it's too much money. But he does fit. It's a type of safety they've always been looking for, always, had. Swearinger, a similar play style, but Collins is definitely better than him, I think. So, I mean, you got your style guy. You needed a guy. and he's still solid. Even though I think I'm not a huge fan, he's still solid. Doesn't mean he's bad, but you did overspend a little bit. And the thing is, they didn't have all that much money to spend, and they kind of just now they're apparently going to try to make some trades, Mason Foster possibly. So we'll see.
Yeah,
they're gonna have to clear some space.
This is a lot of money, like you said, and I've also been a pretty big critic of Landon Collins, but I don't know. He's going to him in this system. I like. I do agree with that. But again, this is one of those moves that you could be kicking yourself for in a couple years.
Yeah, I mean it's not like he's gonna be like a bust free agent. He's gonna give you some solid play. I just think I think he's a little on the overrated side. That's just me. But that doesn't mean he's not good. He's still good. But I like that he fits. I'll give him that. He definitely fits. He's better than what they've had, and they've had similar style safeties, so that they like him. Le'Veon tweeted, "I'm so torn right now. Decisions." So
oh boy.
So to me, that sounds like, I mean, obviously it's obvious he has multiple teams, but to me, I'd take it as, obviously he's got to have a top offer, but I think there's a team that could be a contender, possibly maybe just under it.
Yeah,
I would assume, because if you're torn,
yeah.
Unless somebody's got the bunch of teams got the same exact offer, I don't know.
Which I don't. I think it's more what you said the first time. I think it's we have. Maybe he's getting more. We'll say the Jets. He's getting a big offer from the Jets, but then someone like who's a contender that could offer him. Maybe Houston is giving him a little less.
Or could the Raiders be?
I don't think the Raiders are considered contenders at this moment.
Yeah, but maybe they're more.
But they could be that high ball team.
No, I think they can be just a little bit under the Jets because they just dished out money to Antonio Brown and Trenton Brown.
Right.
So I don't know if they can, but they can be a little bit under the Jets, and he can be considering them because Antonio Brown's there, and they do look better than the Jets right now, honestly. So it's a possibility. And we kind of touched on this, but I'm seeing.
Oh, yeah, I got one.
Oh yeah, there it is. Officially
confirmed.
Terrell Suggs is signing with the Cardinals.
Officially.
Don't know the money yet. Terrell Suggs of the Cardinals. He's getting to the point where, he's not washed up, but he's almost getting there, kind of. So
they like bringing in those guys. They brought in Dwight Freeney at the end of his career. They bring in Terrell Suggs.
But he could still play. He definitely could still. I mean, he was on maybe the second best defense in football last year. And he definitely has the instincts. He definitely knows the game, knows the defense. So, I mean, he can help what is a young defense. He can play opposite of.
Chandler Jones.
It could mean two things. He could be there to help develop a young
whoever they draft,
Nick Bosa or Josh Allen, or he's there because they couldn't use the first pick on one of those guys. They needed to fill a hole because they're using it on Kyler Murray. I think they're taking Kyler Murray, but I'm sure they'll get a young guy anyways. I want to see what they do with Hassan Reddick. I thought he was an outside linebacker, an edge rusher coming in. Cardinals drafted him, moved him to middle linebacker. Hasn't worked out. They switched defensive coordinators now. I want to see what they do with him. Maybe Reddick's going to move back to outside linebacker. Maybe Suggs is going to help him out. Most likely he'll probably stay where he's at since he's been in the NFL. We'll see. That's something interesting to keep an eye on. The whole Cardinals draft is very interesting. But they get Suggs, as we predicted at one point. So gotta like that. The Lions, a couple moves from the Lions. They got Justin Coleman, 4-year, $36 million. I'm not sure about this one. He's going to play in the slot. They desperately needed a guy in the slot. Is $36 million in today's market isn't a lot, but it seems like a lot for a guy like Justin Coleman. To me, he's not really a proven guy or anything. So,
but it I don't know. It addresses a need, and I don't think the money's crazy. It's a nice 4-year deal. It's a lot for a guy like you said is unproven, but I don't know. Maybe this shows the confidence in him that he can take that next step. They clearly wanted him because they paid him kind of up. I think this is going to kind of set the market for Bryce Callahan is what I'm seeing.
Yeah. The corner market is thin, but yeah, at the same time, Callahan's definitely a guy that's better, I think. He hasn't really had too many years where you know for sure that he's the guy, but he had a very good season last year. Even the year before was solid. So what's his money going to be like? That's interesting.
I think this, I don't know.
To me, this is interesting that it's not a terrible deal or anything, but it's interesting that happened so quick. Like, we need Justin Coleman. We need to give him 4-year, $36 million right now. It's kind of weird. I don't know.
Especially when the Lions were rumored to have ties with a lot of different, big name star free agents.
Maybe they're out of Anthony Barr now because they spend their money this way with Trey Flowers and with they got Jesse James,
and they got Amendola.
And that's true, Amendola, yeah. So we'll see. I do like that they're they know who fits, they know who they need. They went out and got him. I like that. So Lions, They definitely got better today. I think it's still on Stafford though, but it's not. I think it's realistic that the Lions could do something in that division. The Niners signed Kwon Alexander, 4-year, $54 million.
Jeez.
What was guaranteed? $27 million was guaranteed. So
that's a lot of guaranteed money to somebody who just tore their ACL.
That's where I was getting at too. I think he's very good if he's healthy.
If healthy.
Yeah, it's tough. I thought the Bengals were a team I really liked from. If not, maybe the Steelers. I was kind of surprised the Niners went with him. He's gonna play inside. Fred Warner's gonna play outside. They have the draft. They got the second overall pick too. They could get an edge rusher with. They got better if he's on the field. He has to pass the physical too. Don't forget. We're not at that official date yet, so
isn't that Wednesday? I believe
it's gonna be Wednesday. Yeah, he'll probably go in there and pass the physical, but most likely he'll be good to go. But they got better once he's on the field. They had the cap to spend. So I guess if there was a team, there's a few teams, but if there was a team that could risk this, I guess the Niners make sense.
Mm-hmm. I don't disagree with the money if he wasn't coming off such a big injury.
If you look at it, $27 million guaranteed is actually not. That's not a lot. It's half that total contract. So,
right.
You see all these, which it's a lot of money, but you see all these days that are almost fully guaranteed. Quarterbacks are getting. That's back to the Nick Foles one. At least that's not fully guaranteed, but we're kind of past that now. But at least you're about half that guaranteed, which makes sense. What's how it should be, but at least they're not doing anything crazy here. So they got a very good player. It's a little risky, a little bit more money than I expected, but again, if he's on the field, you got better today.
I saw some. It was they listed the games for the Buccaneers when he was in the opponent's rushing yards, and the jump it took when he got hurt was insane. Good. Absolutely insane.
Him and Levante David were kind of known as the best linebacker duo for a while between them and the Seahawks guys. But they got a good player. That's for sure. They got to focus on their secondary, and they'll get another pass rusher in the drafts. They need receivers too, secondary and receiver. I think they're okay at corner. I think they need rotation guys for corner, maybe a slot guy. I think safety. I predicted I'm gonna get Earl. I don't know what's going on. He must be in Le'Veon's situation.
No, I saw a report that came out today. It said he wanted something like $15 million per, which he might get though. I think he's going to. Yeah, that's the thing.
Earl Thomas. I want to say,
who's going to get more, him or Matthew?
I think Earl Thomas will get more.
You think so?
Yeah. Whew. Niners are my prediction, but the Chiefs are realistic. I think the Texans are realistic for Earl Thomas. I think, you can't really count the Cowboys out fully.
Yeah.
The Giants, you can't count them out.
Right.
Tyrann Mathieu, same teams. The Texans want him back. They offered him $9.5 million a year to get him back. That's too low. My opinion, it shouldn't be too low, but what the other guys are getting, Landon Collins, what he got, Tyrann Mathieu's going to need more. He's not going to take that. It's too low for him to take that offer. So, lowballed by the Texans. They could revamp that, but
or he can just be kind of upset with them.
I heard the Ravens were super high on him, but now today I'm hearing that they haven't really been focused on him. They've been focused on C.J. Mosley because C.J. Mosley's been getting offers from teams like Jets. Just a bunch of teams. The Niners looked into him before they got Kwon Alexander.
That's going to be nuts. He's going to sign something crazy.
There's a list of teams for C.J. Mosley.
Ravens better act on that before they lose.
I was saying on Twitter, I think if C.J. Mosley goes elsewhere, that's the biggest storyline in my opinion for free agency because you don't see middle linebackers move a lot. You would think the Ravens would not let him go because there's a shortage on middle linebackers. I think he's the third best middle linebacker. And that's saying a lot because, like I said, there is a shortage, but he's third because the two in front of him are top 10 players in the NFL, possibly Bobby Wagner and Kuechly, and C.J. Mosley's right there with him. So you can't let this guy get away.
No,
but they do have pretty darn good depth on defense. So I still think the Ravens would be okay, but C.J. Mosley's
they would take a huge step, huge step down. I think.
Yeah,
that defense. You had debatably the best defense last year between the Ravens and the Bears. And they're gonna just lose two of their big names, both in the locker room and on the field. That would be insane.
Yeah. What do we got? Eagles. Jason Peters. 1 year.
That was a must.
$10 million. Yeah, it was, but he kind of gets hurt.
He does get hurt a lot.
He gets hurt, and he's getting up there in age. He's definitely up there in age. But 1 year, I don't know. I'm not. I guess you had to bring back your guy that helped you get to to win the Super Bowl, but I don't know. It's a 1-year deal. That's a good thing.
That's the best thing that they could have done.
Yeah, 1-year deal. I'm guessing he's gonna retire after this year. $5.5 million guaranteed. I guess that's solid. It's gonna be $10 million though. I mean, we'll see what happens here. But I was kind of surprised. I thought either he'd be done or I don't know if he would have got that much. But I mean, it's 1-year deal, so get your guy back. But I thought maybe they would upgrade, but yeah.
Let's get into Dante Fowler.
Dante Fowler, yeah, 1 year, $14 million. That actually happened last night. Dante Fowler, 1 year, $14 million. 1-year deals, it's good. $14 million is kind of a lot, but I mean, he is a pass rusher. I thought they had to get him back pretty much because they just traded for him halfway through the season.
And I think he has to prove a little. This 1 year kind of shows he needs to prove a little more.
Yeah.
Like, I like his game, but he does need to prove.
14 is quite a bit, though.
It is a lot.
They got Weddle, they got Fowler. They actually might need linemen, and yeah, I mean they got to get Sue back possibly. They have some needs, even though they're still a contending team, obviously. But it's a good amount of money.
I'm curious to see where they go from here.
Yeah, good amount of money for 1 year, but I think it was kind of a must to bring him back. Trent Brown to the Raiders, 4 year, $66 million, 36.5 guaranteed.
Isn't this the highest paid
lineman in football?
Yeah.
You passed Taylor Lewan.
Whew.
This is a risky one because
he might be one of those Patriot guys.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty much, I guess at this point, everyone's going to say that every time somebody leaves the Patriots, probably. But it's kind of true, though, because
they do that.
Especially with linemen. They always have a good line. Like Trent Brown, like halfway through the year, people were like, who the heck's Trent Brown? He's playing like an elite left tackle. And the Patriots are letting him go because they know whoever they plug in there is probably going to be fine.
They're doing it again.
They never spent big on the offensive line because they know whoever they put in there, they're going to be good. So I think it's true, but that's not saying he's not going to be good. The questionable thing is here, is it too much money for that risk, $66 million? I guess half of it's guaranteed, so that's not terrible at all. But, man, you draft Colt Miller 15th overall. I hated the pick at the time. And you draft Brandon Parker in the 3rd round. I thought that was a big reach, but Parker to me was I noticed him a lot in run blocking. You don't really notice a tackle a lot in run blocking. Yeah, his pass blocking is pretty bad, but maybe they move Parker to guard. I think maybe they slide him into guard because they got rid of Osemele, but Colt Miller goes to right tackle. I think that could work out. He had a rough rookie season, but he's one of the more athletic guys, so it's going to take some time. And then you plug Trent Brown at left tackle. Overall, their line got better.
I think this move almost confirms that they're in on Le'Veon. Or a running back.
But
somebody big in the running back market.
I need to look up the cap situation for the Raiders at the moment here because can they get Le'Veon? That's the question.
Right, but maybe this is that team that you were kind of talking about.
I was predicting last night that they could get Le'Veon, but now it's tough.
It's a lot of money.
I don't think this. Yeah, Raiders cap space. That's very interesting. Something to find out here. I think they definitely can afford them.
Right. I mean, I think the Jets are your obvious choice for he's going to get the biggest offer from. But if I'm Le'Veon, I don't want to go to the Jets.
Yeah, I mean, it is appealing for the Raiders, from the play for the Raiders with
Antonio Brown again.
That's dead money. I was like $1 million again.
A team that's investing in your offensive line, especially for a runner who runs the way he does.
$42 million in cap.
Available still?
Yeah, according to this. So
you can definitely go get Le'Veon.
Yeah.
I don't know. They can They can make multiple moves here. Multiple. I think they need to.
Yeah, I guess Trent Brown was. I don't know if it was a must really, but you did get the best lineman in free agency, and you got better. I'm wondering what they do with Brandon Parker because I did like his run blocking game, but the pass blocking was rough. But he was also a rookie, 3rd round rookie, so you can't expect too much. But the Raiders can make strides this year. Definitely can make strides.
What do the Raiders do? They come up on draft day, and Kyler's there.
And Kyler's there.
There. I say goodbye, Carr. I think he's gone. Good as gone.
I don't know. I figured they keep. I don't think Kyler Murray's gonna be there.
No, but we're gonna play the big what if game. What if he's there? if you're the Raiders? What do you think?
If
What would
I'm
you
the
do,
Raiders?
and then what would they do?
If I'm the Raiders, no, I don't take them.
You don't take them.
No, I'm thinking.
You're trusting in Carr.
Yeah, I think because you have other need. I mean, we got to see what they do in the rest of free agency. They need a pass rusher bad, at least one.
Yeah.
If Josh Allen's on the board there, even Quentin Williams for the D line. Deshaun Jackson gets $13 million guaranteed on a restructure with the Eagles.
For how many years does he have left?
I think 13 is just for this year.
Okay. I got a report here. Earl Thomas, I mean, we already kind of said he wants X amount of money, but it's saying that he wants to be the highest paid safety in the league. And
Interesting.
Again, that's an interesting one because he's coming off an injury. All these guys, he's going to get paid. We know he's going to be the highest paid safety.
I'm wondering if these current safeties in our contract are going to want better deals from their teams. They want to raise.
I mean, Earl Thomas, he wants more than Landon, basically.
So Landon's the highest paid safety right now.
Or who's making more? That was a wild deal.
Yeah, I just trying to think what a guy like Harrison Smith's making. Like he might want more money. Like I don't know if he's that tight, but it's like if these guys are getting that much money, it's very interesting. But Eagles also got Malik Jackson, 3-year, $30 million. So it's a good replacement for Michael Bennett.
Yeah,
and
I think
very similar too. Both guys have experience playing D end and D tackle, so he'll play D tackle for them.
I think the money's a little much, especially with a team that's kind of tight on your cap space. That's where I got concerned with this. I like the fit and everything, but the money concerns me. I love the need. I love them filling the need with. Like I said, this is an upgrade from Bennett in my eyes. This is an upgrade. I don't know. I like it. I like it. They kind of need that. They need that.
They needed a Bennett replacement, really.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's an upgrade, but I don't think it's a downgrade either. Yeah, I'm okay with it. I mean, 10 a year compared to whatever else is going to be getting. It's a D tackle that can get you pressure on the quarterback. So Eagles know, it takes a strong defensive line to win a Super Bowl. And that's how they won the Super Bowl the one year. It wasn't just because Nick Foles or anything or the offense. So they know what they're doing there. I think, getting picks from Michael Bennett and then getting Malik Jackson, I think it works out.
Yeah, that's a good trade-off.
Lions also got Danny Amendola. That happened earlier
deal.
today. I mean, was a 1 year, $4.5 million prove-it deal. They definitely needed a guy like that. They got Marvin Jones, Kenny Galladay outside. They got Amendola playing the slot. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
it makes sense. A guy that can get open, catch the ball. Definitely no reason to complain about this one.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty much
that wraps up day one.
Day one, yeah. I mean, do you have anything? Did we get to discuss the Antonio Brown deal ever? I don't think we ever did.
Yeah, I don't think we ever kind of did that.
I don't really know what to make of it. 3rd and 5th for Antonio Brown. I mean,
that's wild to me.
I mean, if we would have said that weeks ago, it would have been laughable. But the fact that they're really the only team. They said the Eagles were in, but the Raiders sitting there really, really the only team that's going to make this happen right now. So you pretty much already have to trade them, and we have to sign them to 3-year, $50 million or whatever, 30 guaranteed, and so I think it makes sense. The Steelers got 2 picks. I would look at it this way if you're a Steelers fan. They got 2 picks out of it. We were starting to think maybe it's just a 2nd-round pick, but then the value started to go down by the minute. And you don't get the 2nd-round pick, but you get a 3rd and a 5th. You get 2 picks out of it. And the Steelers are pretty good at drafting there, especially receivers if they need another one. So I think it's a win-win, both sides.
I think it's obvious that Antonio Brown had a huge hand in it.
Yeah.
And he wasn't going to let himself go anywhere where he couldn't restructure. And I honestly believe that the Raiders are the only team that was willing to restructure. The Eagles could not do that, could not do what the Raiders did. What was another team he was rumored? The Bills, I just think he didn't want to go. There was just I
don't know.
I think it's more than talks falling apart. I think it's on him. I literally think it's on him. And I think he had so much more of a say than we think.
Probably like a 3-way phone call going on between.
Yeah, he's just no, I don't want to come there.
Yeah,
I want this much money.
I'm very curious to know what happened with the Bills. I was actually thinking it wasn't.
I don't think it's between the head offices that are the front offices that talks fell apart. I literally think it's Antonio Brown. I don't want to go play in Buffalo.
Yeah, I don't know if I really took it that way. You can see it from him, but
Right.
from what I heard, the deal fell apart Tuesday. So I think NFL Network kind of just messed that one. I think they were just kind of off on that. So I think they were covering up with that, but that could be it. But yeah, according to ESPN, they were done talking on Tuesday, and they were reporting that deal was it on Thursday or Friday. So, yeah, a little weird there. But
one last check for news. One last check.
Yeah.
Texans re-signed a receiver, DeAndre Carter.
Okay.
Big whoop.
Just a depth guy.
Just a depth guy.
So Le'Veon Bell, where do we think we were talking about him a little bit, but
I think he ends up going to. I'm not going to say a specific team here, but I like the fit. I like the fit in Oakland. I like that.
I mean, the Bucs did clear the space. That was our original pick weeks
cleared
and weeks
space,
ago.
yes.
They cleared a little space with Deshaun Jackson. Le'Veon Bell probably wants a lot.
But I think he takes how he said he was torn, and we were speculating that it's between a contender that's offering him a little less than top dollar of, we'll say, a team that's on the rise. I think he ends up taking that contender money. Yeah. I think it's gonna be something wild. He's gonna settle.
It's gotta be Jets. I was thinking the Chiefs at one point, but they got Carlos Hyde, so we're gonna take them off the table. They're gonna spend their money on defense. The Jets, the Raiders, the Bucs, first three teams that pop.
What if the Packers? That could be something.
I think they like Aaron Jones, but they're also linked to Mark Ingram. But do they want it? It's weird to me that I don't know about Mark Ingram and the Packers. It doesn't make too much sense to me. But and then Tevin Coleman, teams are kind of just waiting to. There has to be a lot.
Everyone's
teams.
waiting for the first running back to sign to set the market.
Pretty much every team that's like, for a fact, needs a running back has to be in on Le'Veon Bell because I think Tevin Coleman would have been signed by now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like those teams had to offer Le'Veon Bell, I'm saying, because I think the one team that didn't would have signed Tevin Coleman. But
I think Tevin Coleman is smart enough to know he's going to wait for Le'Veon.
You think?
If I'm Tevin Coleman, I'm waiting for Le'Veon. Because if Le'Veon gets this crazy number,
I think Le'Veon
you may not. Le'Veon's going to get more, but the more that Le'Veon gets, the more that Coleman could ask for.
It could be the opposite too. Le'Veon could be waiting for Tevin Coleman,
right?
Because
it's a never.
Tevin Coleman got this, so I need to get this. So I don't know. I think our original pick was the Bucs. We were kind of leaning away towards that, away from that because the cap space. But now they finally did move on from Deshaun Jackson, so maybe they can do it. But the Raiders with Antonio Brown, the Jets can pay a lot of money. So we'll see what happens there. Earl Thomas, we touched on that. I think the Niners were my pick all along, but it's starting to sound like the Chiefs are realistic. The Texans are rumored to be with them. I wouldn't count out the Giants, the Cowboys, and even the Ravens because they're apparently away from Tyrann Mathieu, but they were in on Tyrann. They were I think it's a fit too. So they're trying to figure out what's going on with Mosley. And the Ravens could be in on Bell too. I heard that. That's right. The Ravens are in on Bell. That's right.
Wow.
I saw that this morning that they're in on Bell.
Doesn't really fit what they got going on there, but
I think it can. We just don't know if it does 100%. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So that would be interesting.
That is very interesting.
But Earl Thomas, I just rattled off the teams. I think my original pick was the Niners. I think the Chiefs could have, and the other teams I named could be possibilities. Just before we end this here, I want to discuss the Anthony Barr. He was linked to the Lions.
I think he's going to the Jets.
But yeah, he was linked to the Lions and the Jets pretty much yesterday. We were kind of thinking a West Coast team for a while now because he said he wanted to play West Coast. Some West Coast teams have the money. I think we can rule the Niners out.
Maybe Oakland.
Yeah, I think you and Pete picked Oakland. I picked the Chargers at the time, so you can't rule those out. I think the Browns would be interested.
Yeah.
But it sounds like the Jets is where he's going, but I'm kind of just – the reason I don't think it happened yet is I think they're trying to work something out with Le'Veon Bell first.
Oh, yeah.
The money on that first, but they probably can get both. I mean, they
can definitely get both.
We missed out. We missed on Jamison Crowder. Yeah, Jamison Crowder.
Oh, Crowder signed.
Crowder signed with
the Jets.
With the Jets. I think it's a good pickup.
I have the numbers here. I believe it was 3 years, $28.5 million.
Yeah, I mean, he's a good guy that can play in the slot, can play multiple spots. So, they needed a receiver. They needed multiple receivers. So, Barr, it sounds like he's going to the Jets, but I still would not. I keep saying every time we talk about Barr, I still wouldn't rule out those West Coast teams. Justin Houston, we're still waiting for him to sign.
Yeah, but the rumors about how much he's going to get paid is insane.
Houston, but but it's said that the teams have actually been okay. Like multiple teams have been okay with paying him $15 million. I think the reason teams are waiting to see if they can trade for D Ford first, which happens to be his teammate. I think like a team like the Packers would take either, but I think they'd rather have D Ford for the right price, for the right trade price.
Mm-hmm.
But then Justin Houston could be another option. The Packers, I will be shocked if the Packers don't get one of Justin Houston and D Ford.
Or I wouldn't even rule out Frank Clark. Frank Clark has said that he's not playing under the tag. He wants a big deal or be traded.
It's one of the two, yeah.
Right. So, like,
my money's on they'll extend him.
I think he's going to get the money.
But he could get traded. Clowney could be traded. I doubt it, but it's possible.
Right.
We still got to wait for a guy like KJ Wright. Where's he going to go? I like the Browns for him. Browns or Seahawks. Sheldon Richardson. The Vikings cleared a lot of space this morning. By a lot of space, by saying a lot of space doesn't mean that they have a lot of space, but they've had pretty much nothing. Now they got something. I think they can bring back Sheldon Richardson. I think they would like to. So I think a number of teams could be interested in him. Chargers, Falcons. The Rams, if they, multiple teams can be interested in him. I think the Vikings would like to bring him back. Tyrann Mathieu, we predicted Bucks originally, but even though they got rid of Jackson, they're still a little tight in the space. So, between Tyrann Mathieu and Le'Veon Bell, you would think they would try to land, even though two totally different players, positions, obviously. You would like to think they can land one of those guys, but Tyrann Mathieu could also go to the Ravens. He also can go to the Chiefs. He can go, there's multiple teams here.
I think he's going to.
Our original pick was the Bucks, and I was guaranteeing at the time. It's a little scary now, but
don't back down.
Between Matthew and Bell, they're going to get one of those players at least.
Ooh.
Sue, I was thinking back to the Rams, but I'm starting to think he goes elsewhere. He's been linked to the Browns. We'll see what happens there. Preston Smith, I have not heard a single thing on Preston Smith this whole time, but I predicted him in a video last week and on Twitter yesterday that I love the fit with the Tennessee Titans. That's how I predict these. I go off fits. I love the fit. We'll see if it happens. They could be in on Preston Smith or Zadarius Smith. Either one works out. Can Zadarius Smith go back to the Ravens? Could he go to the Titans? Could he go to the Packers? Multiple spots for him. There's a lot of, even though a lot's happened, there's a lot of good players. LaMarcus Joyner, I predicted him to go to the Chargers, but maybe some of those teams that miss out on Earl Thomas, Tyrann Mathieu could hop back, and the teams I mentioned for those two guys could hop back into LaMarcus Joyner sweepstakes. Ziggy Ansah, I think could go.
I think he's going elsewhere.
Oh, yeah. I think the Panthers possibly. They're a little tight on the cap. I think he's the guy that gets a 1 or 2 year deal, maybe a 1 year deal.
Yeah.
Because he's good, but he's got to stay healthy. The Panthers I'd look out for. The Dolphins actually makes a lot of sense because they missed out on Trey Flowers.
Yeah.
Maybe the Jets. Jets want.
I think the Jets this could be a guy that the Jets end up settling for after aiming for some of these top guys.
Yeah, I was going to say in option B from Anthony Barr, but where are they going to play Anthony Barr? That's what I'm very curious about. They bring in Greg Williams. He's a 4-3 guy, but he said they're going to keep the Jets at a 3-4 because that's where their personnel's at. So, and Anthony Barr used to be a 3-4 outside linebacker in college. The Vikings, convert him to 4-3. He puts on some weight. He's still pretty athletic.
I think he's athletic enough to fit in the 3-4.
Yeah, but do you spend big money to do maybe like a risk, or do they put him at?
I think you do.
Or maybe Greg Williams is going to his 4-3.
You think he's throwing smoke?
I think he was waiting until he knows who he's getting.
Yeah.
I think they do have the personnel to fit a 3-4. So it's the Jets. Like I said, the one that would shake the whole thing for me, the one that's me most surprising, is C.J. Mosley. But the one I'm most curious about is Anthony Barr, just because he possibly could be going to play as a pass rusher, which he might not be anymore. Right. He can blitz. He was a top blitzer, but a blitzing linebacker isn't a pass rusher. It's totally different. So I can't wait to see where he goes. I think, is there a chance the Vikings get him back?
No, I think his market's he's going to get too much money.
Yeah, I think there's still a slight chance at least, but it's going to be interesting. I think he goes elsewhere. Ziggy Ansah, like we mentioned him. Panthers, Dolphins are the main teams to keep an eye on. Maybe the Patriots can bring him in cheap, possibly. But I think they want to go with Bennett and Claiborne. It depends on if they want to play Bennett on the end or D tackle. He can play either. I
can almost guarantee if Ziggy somehow gets on the Patriots, he doesn't get hurt all year.
Oh, probably
not. And he plays out of his mind. Yeah. And then he gets some massive deal from the Jets next year, and then just gets hurt.
Tevin Coleman, I predicted to the Jets recently, but I think that's if they miss on Le'Veon. I think it's very realistic.
I think they're going to miss on Le'Veon.
If they miss on Le'Veon, I feel confident about Coleman to the Jets because
Coleman wants to be the man.
Well, yeah, because if you miss on one guy, you're like desperate then. Mm-hmm. There's a pretty big gap, I think, after Coleman, unless you can trade for Jordan Howard. Yeah.
Right.
But
free agency wise, the gap
there's
is huge.
There's a few other guys that can play, but I think more highly of Coleman more than those guys. But so I think it seemed like the Jets would overspend for Coleman. Mm-hmm. So we'll see. Darby's, we still got to wait around. Darryl Williams, I'm surprised we haven't heard anything on him yet. I know the Giants and the Bills are interested. I'm sure another couple other teams could be. So we'll see. A lot of guys. Bradley Roby's got some interest from some teams. I think the Texans I like the fit. I haven't heard anything about him yet. Surprised Roger Saffold. Some of the linemen, teams are just waiting for the linemen besides Trent Brown and Hart, which was surprising. But Saffold, I like the Seahawks for him, but he could go back to the Rams. The Jets were interested, but that's before they made that trade for Osemele. The Vikings need offensive linemen, but a little tight in the cap, even though they fixed it a little bit. Teddy Bridgewater's rumored to be going back to the Saints. I liked him for the Dolphins.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
So most likely Bridgewater to the Saints from what I'm hearing, but it could be the Dolphins still. I like the Dolphins.
Golden Tate's still out there.
Golden Tate, he can't be going back to Philly. I picked the Patriots from originally.
I'd be so mad if he went there.
I'm gonna stick with the Patriots. He can go to a number of places. Well, we thought the Titans was realistic. They got Humphreys.
What about the Packers?
The Packers.
You need a duo with Devontae.
Yeah, they didn't get Antonio Brown.
Right.
Patriots, Packers, Ravens, I'd say, for Golden Tate.
Yeah, that's a good trio.
If the Redskins can somehow clear up more space, I would throw them in there, but they got to do a lot of work first.
I think the other three are more appealing.
Oh, yeah. And I said on Twitter, I was guaranteeing pretty much that the Jets get either Matt Paradis or Mitch Morse to play center for them. They're rumored to be in on both of them, so I think I'll be right on that. I'm thinking Paradis I'm leaning towards, but they can get Mitch Morse. The Jets were rumored to have interest in Callahan. I have a feeling he ends up back on the Bears, but like you mentioned earlier, what Lions gave Coleman
might have set the market for him.
Yeah. So maybe the Bears can't pay that. I heard the Bears actually. We've already talked about Le'Veon Bell. They're linked to Le'Veon Bell, but maybe they're one of the teams. Maybe he's considering the Bears because that's a contender. But the money wise, they're probably down here when like the Jets are up here. Yeah. But the Bears are linked to him. The Bears are linked to Adrian Peterson, Mark Ingram. So it's like pretty Cordero Patterson. So
he can play some running back for him.
That's true.
That'd be sweet if they just converted him to a running back.
Juwan James is still out there. A lot of guys. Adrian Amos, another Bears guy.
Yeah.
I predicted him going to the Broncos, but I know the Bears would like him back. I think teams that miss out on, they already didn't. The Colts, I think the Colts are an option for Amos now because I thought they would get Landon Collins.
That's why I think the Bears need to snatch him up fast. But they have to have something like a Le'Veon or something in their pocket. Why are they hesitating? Yeah. They have to have something going on.
Amos must be deciding. I like a few teams for him. I predicted him to the Broncos, but I thought the Bears would be an option. But now I'm thinking the Colts are a very good option. I think the Cowboys, multiple teams here. But he's one. I'm curious to see his contract too, because I would rather have him than Landon Collins, and I'm sure Landon Collins is after they're both done. I think Collins got way more, but it's going to be interesting. But yeah, we covered a lot here. We'll be talking throughout the week, especially on our Twitter. Check out our Twitter. We got NFL draft coverage on the channel as well. Or there's our Twitter and our Instagram, both in the description. Fan voting mock draft on the Twitter. But yeah, lots to go over this week. Lots of NFL draft coverage too. Again, we're constantly talking on Twitter. Stuff like we just talked about now on Twitter. So if you want more of this, go follow us there. It'll be much appreciated. But yeah, that's going to do it for this one. Subscriber goal is at 20K. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, we got plenty of NFL coverage all the time. Yeah.
That was my 20.
Click the like button. Much appreciated. Click that notification bell because we may go live at any time. We just went live the other day. Kind of just decided randomly. So you're going to want to turn those notifications on. But yeah, that's going to do it for this one, everyone. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.